Alrighty then. Nope. Test, 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 test. Check, check, test, test. Oh, knocking things over here. Alright, check, test, 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 test. 1, 2, 1, 2, test, test. Almost. I think the game audio is a little high. Yeah, let's adjust that down just a smidge. Just a smidge. Oh, and put the chat window on top because otherwise I can't read when people show up. If they show up, we'll see about that. Alright. Alright, well, we're live. Every day brings us closer to the release of Frostpunk 2, and so my original plan completely went awry because life happened. So what the hell? I'll set that as a project for a later date. For now, I figured what the hell, let's play On the Edge, because I haven't played Frostpunk in a while, and I haven't played the On the Edge scenario in quite a while either. And we'll play it on hard, just to make it even more funny. And, yeah, again, I haven't played this game, I haven't played this particular scenario, this DLC, in quite a while. So you'll have to forgive me if I have a bit of a learning curve here. What I do remember about this scenario is you don't have a generator city proper. You are dependent entirely on trade. You can mine certain things out of the resource node that you start with, and there's scraps and stuff that you can harvest, but after that, you are entirely dependent on trade with other settlements, which is actually fascinating. I'd like to see if they expand on this in Frostpunk 2. I guess I'll be nice. I mean, I was tempted to just kind of make this a random grousing stream, but what the heck? Give me a second. Let me do the usual socials posting. Okay. And that's all you're getting. I hope it's good enough because that's all you're getting. Yeah, so... Well, let's just get right into it. And if I remember to, I'll grouse. But if I forget to grouse, then hey, at least I'm having fun. And I'm allowing myself to forget about my real-life problems. Which I'm sure nobody's here to hear anyway, so... Let's go! On the Edge. Frostpunk On the Edge DLC. Well, look at what game stream I'm gonna have to watch. Fuck. You couldn't tune into cross channel, could you? Or any of the other ones? No, you have to tune into this one.
They say the snow is dead. But we've learned to the contrary. Snow.
Hey, at least it isn't
ever-changing.
the last autumn.
Unstable.
This is at least something different than what I normally do.
We survived the great storm.
Oh, and trust me, I was so tempted to do last autumn.
It took away a lot from us.
But I'm not evil. Not always.
Still,
I
it
can be
gave us
nice.
something in return. Tempestuous winds brought relics of the past to light. Ones that can bring hope for the future.
Anyways, how's your day going? Good, I hope.
Arrive at the site.
I hope you are enjoying April Fool's being over, so that now you can actually read things and
in return, we'd get
be
food,
incredulous that they're actually real and not have to check the date.
a square deal. But
At least I have someone to talk
deals
to
of
when
this
insomnia
peculiar
kicks in.
quality,
Oh, I just talk to the voices in my head,
just like the snow,
or my sleep paralysis demons.
they tend to change.
April Fool's is over, but my life is a joke. But did you kill those men in the subway? Because I think we've had enough of your jokes. We are the outpost team. The Great Storm has uncovered an underground army warehouse from times before the evacuation. New London sent us there to build an outpost and gather any resources we find. We must rely on New London for food. There are no animals to hunt here, and the ground is solid rock. Thankfully, the weather is fine for now, so we should strive without the generator. Or we should survive without the generator until we have other ways of heating. Let's get down to business. We know what to do. Our first task is to clear the road to the warehouse and start gathering steel. And of course, let's not forget to set up some tents. The night is going to be cold without a generator. So I think this scenario takes place after the Great Storm. So we're at -4 Fahrenheit. Those had better be some damn good tents. If I remember correctly, Chaldea Fairy Cup comes after the Twins event. Really? -4, fuck deep into snow, I see. So we gotta clear the road. Which means we have... Yeah, we have... So we gotta get this mine operating, because that's why we're here. So... we need workers to clear that shit. We need a road. Okay, there's a road going there so far. Okay, that's good. Extend the road a little bit there. What else? We're gonna need wood for tents. I never checked this, but can I actually start harvesting things on the other side? I'm not going to worry about it. Not right now. Alright, what have I got? 5 workers and 15 scientists. So we're going to need tech. So 1 house, 2 house, 3 house. We'll put our science building right there. Yeah, that's steel, so that should be fine. We are going to need the technology, though. So, the technology of peace. Peace through power. And why did they send us out without tents anyway? Oh, right. We're about to find out why. Reminder, this takes place after the main campaign in the story. This is like the epilogue of Frostpunk, basically. But I'm sure you can imagine the way some people played the game. This wouldn't be too unlikely a scenario that out of desperation they send out a scouting team to get resources, and they literally have no resources to send scouting teams out with. But it really does establish itself as its own thing, though. That's the best part. It's not like, hey, did you like the main campaign of Frostpunk? Well, now here's some additional DLC you might like. Buy it, kids. It's just a cash grab. No, this actually does establish itself as its own thing, as you'll soon see. So it did the last autumn, actually, which is why I'm so impressed with this franchise and game series. I'm hoping it continues. I'm hoping for good things from Frostpunk too. So you'll see that there's some familiar things here, but things have been jumbled out just a little bit because we already have access to the heating. Because again, this takes place after the Great Storm. So obviously it wouldn't make sense for, us to not be thinking of trying to heat things in these freezing temperatures. Hamburger! So we already have the beacon, we just need to build it. I need to keep everybody warm. But we're also going to need coal. Do we have any coal? I don't remember. It's wood. Got a coal pile there. Wood. Coal pile. So we do have some coal. So I think what we can do then is go for heating. Keeping our people warm will keep them from getting sick, which means less likelihood that we're going to lose workers to sickness. Let's go. Can I build another workshop? Yes, I can. Right next to the other one. I forget, what is the Fairy Night Cup? I wish I could remember. I do. Oh no, the Fairy Night Cup. Okay, never mind. Silly question. Okay, never mind. I remember. We are really getting glutted on content right now. I'd go for those Morgan cups. They are rushing stuff. Yeah, why are they smushing it all together like this? Weren't these more spaced out in JP? Yeah, I don't want to... where to put it? I usually try and put it within the generator, but there's no generator here. Can I put it? See, I hate putting the medical tent inside of the first 3 rings because it affects the number of things you can kind of cram into the inner 3 rings. Let's put our first one right here for now, and then we'll figure it out later. So they require 3 coal per hour. So sleep time is 10 hours, I think. So we need very cool. Okay, well, there we go. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking about writing a South America in Singularity and making it a visual novel. You know, I've often thought about the same thing. I've often thought about, like, what would it be like if the Native American mythos were a singularity? Because some of that shit gets crazy. Like the fact that I took Coyote, the fact that I go by Coyote, that's a reference to Native American mythology. Well, North American, Native, Aboriginal, whatever mythology. Whatever, however you want to put that.
Leave your workplaces in order.
Get in touch with New London. Now we need to rebuild the transport depot so we can get supplies shipped from New London before food runs out. To get in touch with them, an outpost administration will be necessary. So two of my favorites, I think, are Coyote finds humans under a shell. And then there's, well, no, okay. I'd say there's a few of them, actually, not just 2. There's Raven swallowing the moon, which is why we have eclipses. There's again Coyote, and I think Raven also. They have kind of this similar creation myths where basically they find humans, and humans are these kind of weird little things dwelling under shells and stuff, and like, you know, because they're kind of the weird sort of mischievous trickster personalities, they kind of go out on these weird little adventures, and then they find people, and then like, hey, look, there's people. And then there's another one where Coyote essentially creates people because he's given pouches full of powder, and he's kind of dancing through the sky or something like that. And as he dances, the powder spills out of the magic pouches that he has, and everywhere it falls, people spring up. And so basically he creates, you know, because of all the different colors of the powders that he's got, you know, red people, white people, etc., etc. That would actually be a fucking crazy ass singularity. just because the old legends are so crazy. Like, I think, what is it, the Hopi? I think it's the Hopi. Like, they have a story where I think I've linked this before, but it's an old legend where a dude is born to a mother in basically it's kind of like the Jesus thing where it's a single mother that's born, you know, gives birth to a child, and so, you know, his whole life, he's as a kid, he's spent being told he's fatherless, he has no father. And so once he gets old enough, he tells his mom, I'm going to go find my father. And he goes across this whole trek to find who his father is. And then he meets this wise arrow maker who basically is like, And so he puts him, he forms him into an arrow and shoots him into the sun, and there he finds the sun god, and he's like, "Are you my father?" And he's like, "You're only my son if you can pass these tests." And his son goes through all these different tests, and then it turns out that he's, you know, at the end of the tests, he basically turns into either a god or a demigod. I'm not sure how that would go. And then, like, he goes back to Earth, and a bunch of cool change and stuff happens, and suddenly nobody hates him anymore. It's kind of a crazy story. Yeah, more or less, according to that one mythology. Yeah, he's given, I forget who it's from. I actually have a book. I don't know where the book is right now, actually. But yeah, there's like a ton of crazy stories like that. I'm trying to remember. I can't think of any other good ones right now. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff like that. Like, I can imagine trying to reconcile that into a solid narrative, because it would be all over the place. Because it's like, I mean, it would be kind of like right in line with the craziness of, like, basically the whole Japanese kami sort of belief. So it would make sense, because it's the animalism of the native tribes in the North American region, kind of the same thing. Like, they believed that the trees, the rocks, animals, there were spirits everywhere all around them, and they could achieve, they could teach, they could trick, they could be threats, they could be allies, and it was just all over the place. I'd have to think up some good servants, though. But of course, of course, either Coyote or Raven would have to be featured prominently, because those two are, I don't know, maybe it'd be a pretender. And true name reveal, Raven Coyote, or Coyote Raven, or something like that. But yeah, there could be a lot. There's a lot of options actually. Like give me half an hour or an hour, and let me browse through my old my book of old Native American stories, and then just let my mind cycle through things. I could probably think up 2 5-star servants, and of course the obligatory 4-star and 3-star servants. Now we need to rebuild the transport depot so we can get supply ship from New London before the food runs out. To get in touch with them and outpost administration will be necessary. Right. How much is left? 17? All right, nice coverage. There we go. Can we make any tents? Okay, that'll work. 3 tents. That's 30 less people that'll be possibly getting sick. I'm probably not going to think about the rarity of the servants after all. We need lore and shit. But yeah, I think if I was to actually go down writing a serious scenario, if you do it proper, as a singularity of, because what I'd have to do if I wanted to do this in the way I want to do it, I'd have to research the East Coast, because I'm not familiar as much with East and Middle America, leaning more Eastern sort of Native American mythos. So those are all different languages, because again, you're talking about multiple tribes, hundreds of tribes across an entire continent. That's bigger than what the European Union is trying to pretend to be. I'm familiar with a couple of sparse, legends and whatnot, and a few from, Pacific Northwest, including Alaska and the West Coast, and some of the more, Western, Midwestern American sort of, the more popular ones. But if I wanted to do it properly, what I would do is I would want to go deep into all of the different lores of all the different servants, and try and make a sort of like, the way they do in FGO. Try and make a good balance of all the different legends and whatnot. Now, that would probably piss a lot of people off because they'd be like, you're appropriating culture and whatever else. And they'd be like, bitch, I'm Native American. I'm fucking 100% brown. Like, you can get mad in your gated white communities, but I am 100% brown, so fuck you. I'm closer to Coyote than you are. So don't tell me, you know, fucking Elizabeth Warren. Don't try and be like, you're gonna tell me how I'm disrespecting native culture. Oh, not much. Just discussing some ideas. And freezing to death in the cold. Personally wouldn't care about one else. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. No coal, though. We need coal. So we got a team on that. That's fine. Gonna need a team on coal. Oh, that was easy. Put the other team here, harvesting this apparently destroyed city, or whatever the heck it used to be. Besides announcing South American Lost Belt, then proceeded to call me Mexican. I have an exam in 2 hours, pulled an all-nighter, and my brain decided to start deleting data. I would say look into the stuff that you're having trouble remembering and find some mnemonic devices for it. So, you know, like the math thing, you know, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If you're having trouble on anything important that you're supposed to be remembering, then just like don't focus on the stuff that you know, and you don't have problems with. Focus on the stuff that you're like, fuck, I really can't remember with this. I've never been able to remember this. Do some flashcards, or I don't know. I don't know. Call in a. No, I can't. I can't give that advice. I like my channel. I don't want it to get banned. But some people do things that I do not endorse to get out of exams, and those people deserve everything that comes to them. But seriously, no, I would say look at the stuff that you're having the most trouble with and see if there's like a mnemonic device that you can use to remember. Like, I don't know, try and remember it based on whatever it is that can possibly give you an idea of like, oh, okay, this is the thing I was trying to remember. You can do that and make it a lot easier on yourself. Don't focus on trying to remember everything. Only try and remember the important things. Stuff only comes back under pressure if you've trained hard. So, you'd have to ask yourself, how hard have I been training? But the main themes I'm thinking in the singularity is the Triple Alliance War, Tribes of the People, and of course, how the conflict started. I mean, I would say this. If you've done everything you can and you haven't been slacking off, then that's probably actually good advice. Like, relax. Relax a little bit. And don't overstress yourself. Obviously, you still want to take it seriously. But, you know, you don't want to stress yourself out so much that you're freaking out. You begin locking up. You begin locking, like, yourself out of your own mind because you're just like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Orally, you say? Just tell them you identify as a graduate, and that if they deny your identity, then they're bigots. They released a new anime called The Seven Prince. Did you see it? No, I have not. I actually haven't even had time to watch Freyren, or Gushing Over Magical Girls or anything. I really want to because they look cool, but I've been too busy surviving. Well, I mean... God, there's a there's an old H anime I remember watching back when I was a wee squid. And it was these witches, and one of them managed to pass her exam, but her friend was like, "I thought you didn't even study for your exams," and then she was like, "Oh, I took the exam orally." I forget the name of that one. It was adorable though. The ending. I failed my exam. Looks like you're going to be stuck with me forever. And speaking of funny stuff, H-related. Let's not talk too much about the H stuff, because, you know, you're going to end up inadvertently summoning sus. This anime is getting a super controversial since MC is a shouta with big thighs and the author is sexualizing him a lot. Wait, I've seen the screenshots. It's the blue-haired, short-haired boy with the fucking thick ass legs, right? And people are like, "Yo, why did they design him this way?" I'm sorry, but just because they design him a certain way, maybe your reactions come down to you. Yeah. Maybe those reactions are on you, not on them. I mean, no hate here. Go off, King, but can't blame them. You can't blame them. Blaming people for your own problems. How pathetic. Well, we are going to eventually need more wood, but I think we'll go for faster gathering for now. Three, a 2, a 1, and it's gone. But the dub isn't that bad. Could have been just a little better. You know, the thing is... Alright, the thing is... I don't know how this sounds to people who aren't, like, primarily English speakers. But I hate how people are so often, like... oh, the English dub is good. Like, they did this with Freyrand, they've done this over and over and over again, and it's, every time it does, it's fucking cringe. Because it's just like, it's just cope. It's just cope for people that do not want to bother reading the subs. And I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Like, it's like, oh, I don't fucking read. Well, okay, so you don't read, huh? So you don't read any of the mangas or anything. Oh no, I read the mangas. Okay, so you do read. So then, what's the problem with reading subtitles? Well, I just think the English dubs are better, you know. And it's like, yeah, except for the fact that I've seen very few and far between English dubs where they actually do try. And it's actually funny if you can get like a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever else, or even a track that like will show the Japanese translation at the bottom, like the subtitles, but then watch the English dub. How often it turns out that it's fucking basically two different dialogues. And it so fucking often is. It really is. Alright, so we can build the administration, start doing shipping. Okay. You're good. Maximize space. I think we need to move this over here. I mean, if you can't read and you can't keep up with Japanese and whatever else, and you can't be bothered to whatever, just accept it. But like this is the type of stuff that I don't like, right? Because it's like, as a person who has, again, you see this in the descriptions of my YouTube videos, I speak toddler Japanese, right? But that's toddler Japanese plus me being a weeb. So, a lot of times, right? I have a greater cultural understanding of something than someone who is like, oh, I've watched every episode of the series and I've read the manga or whatever else, and it's like, yeah, but you really don't know what the original was and what was going on and blah 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 blah. Especially with puns and cultural references. My favorite one being like when they translate lolicon to pedophile, right? That shit is fucking embarrassing. Especially when people are defending that. They're like, no, 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 it's accurate. And I'm like, yeah, if you're completely unaware of the differences between like actual child molesters and lolicons. I mean, granted, it's embarrassing. Like if you were Japanese and you were like, "Oh, I'm a lolicon," they'd still look at you weird. But it would be different between saying you're a lolicon and saying you've molested children. That sort of thing, right? That's just one example of among many, 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 many. Anyway, where was I going with this? I completely forgot where I was going with this point. Just Western audiences gonna Western audience? Oh no, dubs. So yeah, dubs can be good. They can be good. But a lot of times it's just like cope. It's just cope for a lot of people. Alright, hang on. Quick Squid idle meeting. Be back in like a jiff. Okay. Yeah, basically, yeah, the dub localization thing, like the thing is, like I can get how difficult it is to translate puns and cultural references. Getting away from puns, like, you know, accents. Accents is another good one, right? Because it's like, oh, if this character speaks with like an Osakan accent, you know, how do we portray that? Do we have an analog? But a lot of times they don't even fucking try. They don't even fucking try to find an analog to an Osakan accent or a Tokyo accent or a high class accent or whatever else. Well, except for maybe when the character is clearly royalty or something, then they're like, oh, now we can put in the, oh, I'm the royal person. Ho, 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 ho. But that's all the effort they do. And this shit right here, this is why AI is going to replace these assholes. This is exactly why it will. And they will deserve it. Take, for example, when Japanese speak funny English, and in the dub, since everyone speaks English, they make it sound extra... Yeah, if I was... I don't know. How would I keep that... How would I keep that consistent? So if it was an English dub, and it was a character that was a natural English speaker, and they were talking to a character that was Japanese, that was dubbed in English, I'd probably make it to where, like... I'd probably make it to where, like, either... I don't know. How would I do that? It'd be a tricky one, but maybe... make it so that the character that they're getting confused by is using a lot of, like, language they're not familiar with, or idioms they're not familiar with, or something like that. Maybe. And so they're like, I can't keep up with this guy. Or yeah, or just put it in sort of like an archaic, weird accent, so that it conveys that there's like a confusion there. Although, again, that would be kind of like what we were just talking about, the complaint I was just having. So we need to start mining. Alright. So I need to free up people to mine. 20 people to do the mining. Alright. About to get colder. So... how much is left over there? 50 and 70 and 107. Time to pick up the blessed rosaries and start praying for the next 30 minutes. 1,000 Hail Marys. 1,000! It is like when you try to bring Desolate to English. It just doesn't work. I mean... it doesn't... Again, there's no analog. This is why I always bring up puns before anything else, because, you know, some Japanese puns don't work in English, and some English puns don't work in Japanese. Two of my favorites being, like, there is no analog for how do you turn water into ice, right? You add a dot. Well, that would confuse the fuck out of a lot of people, because they're like, what? You add a dot to water? How does that turn into ice? Yeah, if you know the kanji, though, you know that the difference between water and ice is a dot on the fucking kanji. And as opposed to that, the refrigerator joke. There is no way that the refrigerator running joke makes sense in Japanese, because the best you can do is, more or less, is your refrigerator operating? And then if you say, well, you better go out and catch it, it makes no fucking sense. So I get that, right? But at least try. At least try. But I think beyond that, what we can all agree on is there's too much bullshit where people are like, well, let's just insert shit that doesn't make sense, like cultural references or modern politics or whatnot. Right? That's the real shit. That's the real shit right there. Because it's like, okay, so you can't find a one-to-one analog for a pun. Okay, just put in another pun. But now you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw in something like, oh, is this a Taylor Swift fan? Like, they weren't talking about current popular pop music icons. Now, if they were talking about, you know, a Japanese pop musician that nobody would recognize, I could get it. You know, hey, is this person a fan of Taylor Swift? I get it. I could get that. I could excuse that shit. I could do anything. But yeah, turning just a random stupid dad joke into like, oh, this is a Britney Spears fan? No. Exactly. That line made no fucking sense. I mean, I know a lot of other people have done it, but I fucking cannot stand how unnecessary that line was. Can't handle it. Sometimes I wonder what the purpose of our struggle is. At least we're alive. Not everyone's so lucky. After the Great Storm, there's probably a lot of dead people. Well, unless you played the game like I did. In which case, I don't think any... No, I did the Golden Path. I think that was the first time I played the game. I didn't even stream that shit. But I did the Golden Path on my first run of the game. So they're definitely not talking about the survivors of not Winterhome, New London.
New London is waiting. Get a move on.
Rebuild the transport depot. I need 45 wood and 20 steel. We got enough steel. We just need more wood. What? They can't harvest? They can harvest steel? Okay then, never mind. Second. Change plan. There you go. Harvest that shit. Fun fact in Portuguese, this is a Japanese say. They are talking about your other saves, the ones you actively abandoned. I never abandoned any of my saves. I will go back as many times as it takes. I am a cursed time traveler. How would they know? How would they know? Are we playing cross-channel again? They all know because, well, that would be spoilers. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can rant about that. I kind of. Again, I vaguely remember the cross channel thing. I think at this point it's being laid on pretty thickly, but if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Also, good lord, I forgot about that part where you end up living together with the tsundere. I don't remember her being that dere either. Like, oh, I just threw away all your porn magazines, but you don't need those. You have me, don't you? Like, what? They simply know, get good. I have 0 Iron Man achievements, alright? I don't think I'm good enough. That's not the kind of dedication that I have. I love this game, but especially if I was streaming that shit, you guys wouldn't like that. You would not like that. I mean, shit, at that point I might as well try and install, well, not install, but I might as well try and go for all of the Max Payne New York Minutes achievements.
The shift is over.
Quitting time already? Also, how about that Pekomama debut? You want shelter? Give me shelter. I will refrain from talking about married women. You know, hearing Pekomama and Narissa's mom, and even Ollie's mom. Actually, all the moms, they talk very well. I can understand why people why people have the good day, Outpost 11. Well done with the progress so far. We'll send you the first food shipment soon. Now that the operation is established, we await the first batch of steel from your outpost. In the meantime, we are dispatching a group of clerks to run the outpost administration. Your children will arrive with them. They are surely eager to rejoin you. Remember that we can always assist you with any problem. This is odd. There must have been some misunderstanding. Our children were not supposed to join us. Certainly not so soon. It won't make things any easier for us. Well, it's too late to turn them back, and at least New London promised to also send food our way. Hopefully, they'll keep on schedule. Cookhouse? More like cuckhouse. Got him! We'll keep this one close for now. The age of 50 is in demand. I'll leave you guys for now. Well, appreciate you dropping by. My sleepiness finally got to me. Adios. Adios. Buenas noches. Or... forget. I don't. I speak English and bad other languages. Good night. Good night, good night, good night. At least I helped with the insomnia. If I wake up and do some good in the world, that's a feather in my cap. So, I guess I don't know. I guess now that it's quiet, now that I have a moment, part of the reason that I decided to start streaming this game, my comfort game, and this scenario in particular, On the Edge, is just more or less where I'm at right now. I have well, overall, a lot of the details don't need to be understood. But like, this is like it. I need to figure something out. Or a lot of bad things are about to start happening. Not self-inflicted, but definitely bad things. And the fucked up thing is, even when all this is going on, I'm still able to find friends and allies, people who are trying their best to help me out. So I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore. I really don't. I really fucking don't. Like this guy at this company, he's been trying to get my ass hired on for the longest time. And he was the guy that tried to get me promoted before. And then he you know, it didn't work out. They decided to go a different direction. But then I talked to him today, and like he's like, "Hey, by the way, there's this other, you know, people are also considering you for this other, like not as high up position, but still, you know, not coming in as a grunt." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'd be cool with that." Like, I don't know, it's so weird. It's like I'm desperate, but I'm also like I'm also fucking still able to have larger, bigger, and wider options open. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I got a long day ahead of me today, so I don't need to stay up really late streaming. I'll save the game here. I don't want to go deep into it, but it's just such a weird, it's just such a fucking weird place to be. The deepest despair and the highest hope at the same time. So crazy. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate everyone checking out the VODs later. You are all awesome, and no one should tell you otherwise, because if they do, they can come talk to me. See y'all out there, and take her easy. Whatever you do.